Where can you stop fighting? Hi, I'm Ann Margaret with this week's Sacred Sunday message to raise the vibration of your body, mind, and spirit. In these 15 minutes, we're going to go over the areas where we are just depleting our energy, where we, in the face of everything that's going on right now in the world, how we can best protect ourselves energetically and truly engage in those combats or those things that we do want to invest our fighting or fight our warrior archetype energy in. But if we give it everywhere, we won't have left for what really matters. So just a couple announcements before we get into the heart of the message today. I'm so excited to announce that I'm now going to be offering online yoga classes daily. And today's class is free. Since we're social distancing right now, I just want to make sure that you have the opportunity to be able to take a class every single day from your home with somebody that you know. So today's class is at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and the link is in the notes to access that free class today and how to access those classes all this week. We're going to be taking one chakra each day this week to go over, just so we can fine tune those vibrational energies within us, so we can best be grounded for ourselves, for our families, for our friends, and for our communities. Okay. So I think that's all for announcements today. Okay, so where can you stop fighting? Let's talk about this. I want to start with a couple quotes. When I was thinking about, actually, when I visited Costco this week and experienced that mayhem firsthand, you could feel the fear was palpable. And fair enough, we're going through a very, very challenging time collectively right now, unsure of what tomorrow is going to bring, trying to find solace in things that help us ground ourselves, ground each other, and just to be able to connect with each other. And thank God we have technology right now at this time when we're self-quarantining in our homes to be able to keep ourselves, our families healthy, so as to not spread this virus to people who are very vulnerable, our parents, our elders, and to truly honor giving each other the space to be healthy. So I thought about this idea of nonviolence, because at this time, anything can happen in the world where we are going more to our root chakra survival instincts of fight or flight, of hoarding, of feeling like we don't have enough. And this is all connected to our most basic needs, our root chakra needs of just food, clothing, shelter, and also connection. So how do we connect in a time where we're not allowed to be near each other physically? It's very, very important to make it a priority to get on your online circles, your online communities. We have our women's circle coming up next weekend. Those of you who want to join that virtually, it's an awesome online circle. And also just joining a public class every day with me to be able to connect with the other yogis, even though we're all in our own homes. So where are the areas where we tend to go to the root chakra imbalances, shadow aspects of feeling like we need to fight or flight, or we need to hoard, or we need, some of the looks in the eyes of the people when I was getting some supplies for this time were quite scary. But I have to say, I want to commend everybody, because overall, people were patient with each other, people were generous, people were polite. We looked in each other's eyes, some of us, and just knew what we were going through, and just sent a little loving energy to each other, and or let each other go first, or whatever it is. So if you are around people right now, or if you are posting on social media platforms, be very, very mindful that it is ahimsa based, so that is non-violence based, that we are not trying to create more division, but that we're seeking to understand positive and constructive resolutions right now. I know there's a lot to criticize, and fair enough, I'm not saying that we're not justified for our opinions, but at this time, especially as we're going through clearly a transformational time together, individually and together, we need to take full advantage of this time. So a couple references before I get into some of the things that we're going to talk about today is a beautiful quote from the king of nonviolence himself, Gandhi. And Gandhi said, nonviolence requires a double faith, faith in God and also faith in man. At this time, we can throw our arms up. We can say, "Oh my gosh, the world's going to hell. Everybody is getting chaotic, and getting trapped by all of our fears." This is the time for faith more than anything else. Whatever you believe in, whatever God you believe in or lack thereof, it doesn't matter. Faith is still founded in things working out, in things serving the best of humanity, and not because it's a pie in the sky Pollyanna way to approach life, but because it is the most empowering way we can relate to our current reality if it's undesirable. If we are going through a time right now that is very, very potentially divisive, fear-based, if we allow it in, it is crucial for us to be very, very mindful of how we are interpreting the circumstance. Are there a lot of people suffering right now? Yes. Are there a lot of people who may get sick and even might perish? Yes. That's not to devalue the pain and the suffering that might well be ahead of us. But what the most critical thing to do at this moment, and this is not just coming from me, this is coming from spiritual masters all throughout age and time, people who would teach us how to best navigate the most horrendous of circumstances that right now pales in comparison to what they've been through. They remind us to have faith and use this moment for your greatest good, to learn what it is that you need to learn right now. And there is a teaching in many different religions about keeping holy the Sabbath. I'm going to reference an amazing book by Dr. Leonard Felder called The 10 Challenges. Can you see this? The 10 Challenges. It's in the notes. This is a book that Anthony and I were required to read during our interfaith seminary time at One Spirit in New York City. And in this book, it goes through each of the 10 commandments from Jewish and Christian theology, but it takes it into today's time. And it's beautiful. Chapter 4 is all about the keeping holy the Sabbath. So if you want to reference that book, it's one I would definitely recommend for this time, because we are going through a time of retraction, of pulling inwards, of going into our caves, into our homes, and having this sacred time, if we choose to see it that way, as a time to evaluate, as a time to be silent, to listen deeply, not only to ourselves, but to God or to source energy or to each other. Pick up the phone. How few of us pick up the phone now and call each other? And just pick up the phone and surprise each other. We text each other, hey, it's a good time to just pick up the phone and call people right now. Connect with each other. So that is an amazing, amazing book about how to connect with the sacredness of the Sabbath that we're all collectively going through right now, okay? The second quote I wanted to share with you, also very much related to Cesar Chavez, and it's nonviolence requires a double faith. Oops, sorry, that was the other one. Cesar Chavez is, there is no such thing as defeat in nonviolence. Can you imagine a world where everyone wins? Can you imagine a world where there is enough for everybody? And when we go into that space of truly connecting with the oneness that we all experience, even though we're in separate bodies and now we're in separate homes and we're really separated from each other with this social distancing, we must remember the oneness. We must remember that we are all going through this. We're all going through economic hardship, potentially losing our jobs or not having the jobs that we have relied on. We're also losing that communal connection of being in person with one another. We're all dealing with the fear of unknown of our physical health. And quite beautifully, it was said in the last couple of days by many sources that we are only as healthy and as vibrant as our least healthy or insured person in the world. So we have to remember that at this time, when we are at a global potential crisis, that this is a time for us to remember that we are all in this together, that it is important we look after each other, and community is more important now than ever, okay? So another thing I wanted to reference, like, where are we fighting? Where can we stop engaging in this hook mentality or hooking postings that happens on social media, where we want to fight, we want to come back and say our piece or right ourselves and righteousness against their wrongdoing or whatever it is. Where do you want to spend your energy right now? I've included some links as to how to protect yourself physically through different very simple tools of hydration, of taking care of yourself, your immune system, how to boost that. It's all in the notes. But also remember from last week's talk that our immunity has everything to do with self-care. And our energetic immunity has everything to do with boundaries and what we engage in. So remember that, okay, as you're moving through this week. All right, so the other book I wanted to reference is one of my favorites. I have exhausted this both on Audible and a couple of copies that I've had. It's Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. One of my heroes, Dr. Wayne Dyer. One of my favorite texts, the Tao Te Ching, and he writes passages on every single day on how to implement these beautiful verses from Taoism and from Lao Tzu's wisdom. And from the 42nd verse, I'm just going to pull a little clip out of there because it is incredibly applicable right now for what we're going through. So the Tao Te Ching's 42nd verse is, people suffer at the thought of being without parents, without food, or without worth. Yet this is the very way that kings and lords once described themselves. For one gains by losing, and loses by gaining. What others taught, I teach. The violent do not die a natural death. That is my fundamental teaching. It's incredible that a text so ancient and so, well, not this text, but based on the Tao Te Ching, is so ancient, is so applicable right now. All right, so many of us, my parents are in their 80s. My mom's turning 80 this year. My dad's turning 83 next month. I'm very, very concerned, and under penalty of my own getting them and making sure that they don't leave their home, I threatened them and said, you've got to stay inside, dropping off groceries for them. See what you can do for your elderly neighbors, whatever you can help them with. They're not savvy with online resources like food delivery. So if you can drop some things off and let them know that you're there for them, do it, guys. Now is the time. And you know who benefits more from that than anyone else? You do. You get to be uplifted by that service. So we're afraid of losing our parents. We're afraid of being without food, being without worth. We want to feel worthy and do something for somebody else. So guys, use that opportunity, this opportunity right now, to do that. All right, let's check in with our cards. And again, there is a free class today I'm offering. The link is in the notes. And you can just set up your mat in front of your computer today. Let's pick a intuition card. Abundancia. So in the time where we feel like everything is scarce, the universe is pouring its abundance out to you, be open to receiving. Remember that not just food and water are important, but how we feed our souls is so critical, and how we support each other. So that is a wonderful message for us at this time right now. Also, if you're interested and you need some further, more personal support, I offer one-on-one coaching on a sliding scale. Just email me and we'll set that up. Guys, I know a lot of you needing extra support right now and are reaching out to me, so I'm happy to make some extra time for that. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this. That's really beautiful. Angel card. The angel archetype says, helping those in need with no expectation of return. Now is the time to be this angel archetype for everyone in your life, especially yourself and your neighbors and your loved ones. The shadow attributes: acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. We need to be mindful of how we're using this angelic archetype so that we can truly serve others. Watch what you're putting on social media. Watch what you're saying to one another. Be very, very kind to each other. It's so, so critical right now. And if you want to help somebody else raise their own vibration, please feel free to share this video And remember, we've got that monthly online women's circle happening next weekend and daily classes to raise your vibration. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this week's Sacred Sunday. Until next time, keep raising the vibration. Bye.